Hello, everyone. This study was conducted at UP Open University within the Bachelor of Arts in Multimedia Studies program. It's one of the first fully online bachelor's degree programs in the Philippines. I'm an academic who teaches in the program at UPOU and currently taking up my graduate studies at Lancaster University. This study was made possible by these institutions, to whom I owe my gratitude. Fostering a sense of community has been an interest throughout my time as part of the university. While, dare I say, I've had a bit of success, I did face a ton of challenges, making it difficult to sustain any success beyond the short term. I strongly believe that a higher level of engagement is a key issue in online learning. I also believe that a strong sense of community is important in fostering that engagement. The problem is these beliefs are based more on anecdote rather than empirical evidence. It was my hope that conducting this study will help me solve that. This study takes cue from what is called the community of inquiry model. Now, this model posits that a learning medium is composed of three components: social, cognitive, and teacher presence, which, when working together, results into a meaningful educational experience. With respect to the COI model, this study attempted to answer three research questions. First, is there a correlation between how engaged students are with their sense of community? Second, does length of residency have any effect on engagement and community? And third, given the tools on hand in an online classroom, how can student engagement be improved? To answer the first research question, this study directly adopts the online student engagement scale and the classroom community scale. There are other means of measuring engagement and sense of community, of course. However, these two were chosen for the following reasons. First, they are both designed with the online classroom in mind. Second, they have been tested for accuracy by previous studies. And third, they, or at least to a certain extent, account for the quality of outcomes as perceived by students. These two scales are implemented as surveys answered through standardized Likert scales, which you can take a look at as an appendix in the paper. On top of a descriptive analysis of the results of the scales, I checked for correlation between them. To answer the second research question, a one-way analysis of variance was conducted for the results of each scale. This was meant to determine whether or not there are significant differences between the results from the two different classes representing different lengths of residency in the BAMS program. The third research question was addressed through the analysis of descriptive statistics derived from the answers to the items in the OSE and CCS scales, as well as additional comments possibly shared by respondents. As an accessory to the study, students were also asked to answer additional items regarding external factors that may have affected their engagement in class. Even online classes have been significantly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a series of natural calamities. I was worried that these events may skew results of this study and needed confirmation if there was anything to it. Now let's look at and break down the results. A total of 67 students responded to the survey. 60 of them are from MMS 100, a class made up of first-year students, and 7 from MMS 175, which is typically taken by students on their third year or later. This table shows the descriptive statistics for OSE and CCS by class and total participants. The values here are based on the Likert scales for the OSE and CCS, whose answers were standardized to have the lowest value of 0 and highest value of 4. Respondents gave an average answer of 2.613 for the items in the OSE scale. This implies that students in both classes exhibited fair to moderate levels of engagement. On the other hand, as far as sense of community is concerned, with a mean score of 2.311 for items in the CCS, students are apparently more or less neutral. This can imply that while it is not discounted that there is some level of connectedness or sense of belonging among students and teachers, students might not really feel there is a legitimate community at large. The correlation analysis between the OSE and CCS yielded a value of 0.422 with statistical significance at alpha at 0.001. This means that based on the data, there is a moderate positive relationship between students' level of engagement and sense of community in their classes. This corroborates the assertion that student engagement and sense of community are tied to each other. However, a correlation analysis cannot determine causality. The results cannot say for sure which depends on the other, or if there is a synergy between the two. While there are nominal differences, no statistical significance was found in the differences between the OSE and CCS scores of the two classes. It suggests that among the respondents, there is no apparent increase or decrease in engagement and sense of community the longer students stay in the BAMS program. Now, while that may be the case, looking at other aspects of the data may give a wider perspective regarding this matter. The MMS 100 and MMS 175 classes covered by the study are populated by 169 and 75 students, respectively. This leads to the fact that the online survey yielded a response rate of 35.5% in MMS 100 and 9.33% in MMS 175. While it can be argued that the response rate of the MMS 100 class is acceptable, the same cannot be said with MMS 175. The question that comes to my mind is whether or not it would be reasonable to surmise that if participation in the survey can be viewed as a manifestation of engagement itself, and if it is, can it be argued that older MMS 175 students tend to be less engaged compared to the younger schoolmates in MMS 100? Now let's take a look at the other external factors highlighted by the participants. This figure shows that out of the 67 respondents, all but three felt there was a detrimental effect with regards to their engagement in class. 31 of them opined that they posed a major detrimental effect. While not all respondents elaborated on their opinions, those who did indicate two general types of issues. The first type is technical related, such as poor internet connectivity, which became more pronounced in certain areas due to the surge in nationwide use as people were confined to their own homes, as well as power failures, mainly caused by the series of storms and typhoons that beset the Philippines in the latter half of 2020. The second type related to mental and emotional well being, as the pandemic brought about drastic and jarring changes in lifestyle, which students have found stressful. Respondents are, however, more divided with regards to community, as this figure would suggest. While 37 felt that it also degraded in the face of immediate realities, 11 believed there was no effect, with another 19 actually believing that there was a beneficial effect. While students do continue to struggle in the face of the current adversities, some have made strides through establishing stronger connections amongst each other, leading to an improved sense of community. Responses to the survey imply that there is strong motivation towards learning. This can mean that the issue is not necessarily about building motivation. This may be about harnessing what motivation is already inherent to the students. On the other hand, survey items with the lowest mean scores involve interpersonal interaction and communication. This alludes to a general hesitation towards being more open on a personal level with peers and teachers. Replies to the more open ended questions in the survey provided clues for addressing this issue, such as using platforms such as Zoom and Discord. Facebook has long been documented as an option as well. The findings allow the study to conclude that there is indeed a relationship between student engagement and community. The combined results of the OSE and CCS provided a picture of an educational experience as expressed in the community of inquiry model. The study also supports the argument that disruptions that recently occurred in the physical world can also have direct impacts in an online classroom. There are other issues which further work would do well to address. For starters, the low and unbalanced survey response rate led to a small sample size which could have compromised accuracy of the analysis. The items in the OSE and CCS Likert scales may not have been given an in depth analysis. Beyond as a data gathering tool for quantitative analysis, the items from the two scales have the potential to provide a lot of additional insights with regards to student behavior. And that concludes this presentation. I hope you found something interesting. If you haven't done so, please go through the full paper for broader context and greater detail. Thank you for watching.